Hello and welcome, I'm Jellybeans, and I'm here to find out, is the new release Supervive worth your time? It's created by an independent developers. They don't seem to have any other games under their belt, called Theorycraft Games, and it's essentially a MOBA battle royale top-down arena shooter type game. It caught my attention on Twitch because a lot of streamers were picking this up and playing through. What I liked about it was it brought me back to games like Battlerite, which is now pretty much debunked and has no player base, and it was really scratching that itch for an arena type shooter game that also had a lot of skill based. And then they had the battle royale mode, which might offer an interesting spin on things, so I definitely thought I had to check it out. The game is of course free to play, as you need to be pretty much to enter into this market, and it's a hero shooter, so you'll be unlocking heroes and characters as you play. They seem to just be unlocked through gameplay. Of the few hours that I've played, I've just been unlocking more and more champions through each match, which is always great to see rather than nickel and diming players at every turn. Now, primarily being a Steam Deck based channel, I will say that unfortunately it is not playable on the deck, and it's due to Linux compatibility and Proton. When you do launch the game, it comes up with a warning saying that it just is not compatible for Steam Deck. Hopefully they can fix that in the future. I definitely would be keen to give it a go, and I think that the controls would map quite well to a controller as well as PC, so there's no issues there. And being based in Australia, unfortunately, again, there are no OCE servers. We're stuck playing in Asia Pacific, which means that you're seeing pings of over 100, which hopefully doesn't affect you in your area, but definitely it is a black mark against the game for me. And it's really disappointing when they don't release with OCE servers, but it is manageable and I'm still enjoying the game regardless of the ping. So once you're in, you'll see that there's what they call the champions. They call them hunters. There's fighter types, initiators, frontliners, protectors, and controllers. They all equate to essentially damage, support, tanking, frontlining. You can pretty much tell how it's going to go. A lot of the champions borrow skill sets from Overwatch, League of Legends, Dota, and sort of combine them into a mishmash, but you will be playing top down. Now, since the game is fully released, there is a cash shop for real money where you can buy skins. You cannot buy, as far as I can tell, anything that will affect gameplay or will give you an advantage over other players. Everything appears to be strictly cosmetic, which is good to see. Now, they do use a coin system, and they do nickel and dime when it comes to making skins cost just over the amount that you'll get from the standard packs of coins. So as you can see here, 1000 TC costs a whopping 15 Australian dollars, but then when you actually look at the skins, you'll see that many are 1300 to 1700, meaning that with that payment, I would not be able to even purchase a single skin, being I'd have to opt into the next tier at 30 Australian dollars. So be aware that this is the monetization, and it is a bit scummy using this practice. I would much rather just be able to purchase the skins with real money. They of course also offer a battle pass, what free-to-play game doesn't have one these days, and everything appears to be free unlocks for the current battle pass. In terms of game modes, they do have duos, squads, arena, and practice mode. Arena is a 4v4 battle mode where you simply verse the opponents, the last man standing wins, or those that control the base camp. Squads is just your typical 4-man squad for Battle Royale, and then Duos is Battle Royale mode as well. I've been primarily playing squads with my friends, and we've been having quite a blast just playing with the 4 of us, but do know that there is autofill, so you cannot queue with smaller than 4 on your squad, unfortunately. But let's get into a match, and I'll show you how the Battle Royale works within this game. You can pick your drop point, and you have the squad leader who will determine where you'll be dropping on the map. They can also pass that on, and then you'll be choosing one of the different locations to drop into. Now, instead of your typical battle royale, how this game mixes things up is that instead of just looking for loot within houses and areas, you'll be killing creeps essentially that will drop items for you to pick up and upgrade your gear. You also have your ability points, which can be put into your abilities, and you'll be leveling by killing the mobs on the map. You also have your glider, so that if you double tap space, you can glide around, which is really great for closing gaps, but if you take damage while gliding, you'll actually fall to your demise. Your squad can of course revive you, and there's revive points on the map, and currently while playing, You can also revive within the first, I think, 5 minutes. You'll just be revived automatically as long as your whole squad is not wiped. And I think this is just for new players coming into the game. In the matches that we've been in, I do question if there are some bots actually as some of the squads, because some players just seem to run at you quite aimlessly. They could just be really bad, but a lot of battle royales these days do populate new matches with bots to sort of encourage the player base to keep playing and have more enjoyable matches when they're beginning and starting out. So I'm not too sure on that, but it definitely did feel like some of them were. And as you start to thin out the squads and get to the last squad standing, you definitely know when you're starting to verse real players. In my time playing, I've been enjoying the sniper champion here, which is just really fun for picking off characters in a really far long range. Reminds me of Caitlyn from League of Legends actually. And I have the ability on my right click to sort of throw a grenade that stuns. My shift will dash me backwards from the cursor direction. Q will do basically a sort of hawk shot if you've played Ashe in League of Legends, where I can see an area and it lights up and shows me the characters over there. And then R just shoots a bullet that does a lot of damage. One cool thing that they've done here is instead of just right clicking to auto attack other champions, you actually have to aim your cursor. And this is why I thought that it would be a good fit for a controller on the Steam Deck, because everything is skill shot based. Everything can be dodged. Everything is locked on through your movement or through the direction that you're aiming. So it could translate well to a controller if they do add support down the track. For the majority of the matches, you'll be killing the creeps, raiding vaults, taking on quests, and doing a range of those tasks to unlock as many items as you can and get as many levels as you can, so that you can fight the other champions. You'll be third-partied, four-partied, and fighting numerous squads on the map, which is definitely the meat and potatoes and the fun of the game. What I've been really enjoying is that all of the skills are clearly telegraphed. Everything has clear red outline and indicators for skills that are landing on the ground. Everything seems to be very readable in that sense and visually appealing, so that I can understand what's going on and who is attacking me from where, which is really important. That visual clarity in games like this is how they live and die. Because if I can't understand all of the abilities on screen when there's multiple teams all impacting at once, that's definitely going to make the experience a negative. But I think they've handled it quite well here. You can definitely tell who's who. The colors really seem to pop. The art style makes it so that there's clarity between the different teams and characters, and it's easy to tell who is who, and the clear health indicators on top also help aid with that. And this is particularly helpful with my character, who's sniping from very far away, so I'm sort of outside of the combat. It might be a bit more difficult if you're just in the mix of things. Aesthetically, we can say that they've done a good job and the visual clarity is clean and easy, but where I will have concerns is the question mark on the future of this game and how many of these free-to-play titles end up. Now, there are some balancing issues already present. The Gatling Gunner character in particular, I've seen in numerous matches, and he's always a threat. And regardless of where his itemization, levels, or any of his stats are at, he is a menace in the arena and hard to take down. He does enormous amounts of damage and has ricochet all around him. So there are some questions around balancing. I do also see many of the same characters come up again and again, and the roster is not enormous right now. There's only so many champions, and that's to be expected. There do seem to be some standouts and balancing that will be taking place, though the game appears to just be in beta, but they are charging money, and that is why I'm already making this video, because anything that is charging can definitely be open to criticism. Then we also have the question of, in terms of the battle arena genre, is it pushing things forward enough? Is it different enough from the competition? And I have to say yes. There really isn't another battle royale top-down that I can think of in recent memory, and then the other competitors like Battlerite that I mentioned earlier just hasn't been supported by the developers and has fallen to the wayside. So there is a opportunity for these developers to really push this game, and they've done really well in their marketing push as well by going to all of these streamers and offering competitions and pushing that front. They've definitely got the right pieces in play to hopefully progress the player base and keep the game moving forward. Ultimately though, we're going to see what happens. Time will be the teller here, and I hope that we can come back to this game in a few years and see that the player base is still steady and if not rising. Overall, we've really been enjoying the game and actually finding it quite fun. The mix of Battle Royale and taking different elements from MOBAs, Battle Royale, and other genres seems to be a really good mix when it comes to this game. It makes it actually quite fun. Instead of just looting empty houses and running around the map, everything's quite condensed. The map isn't too large and there's enough squads that you'll be constantly engaging with either the creeps or other champions and enemy teams, that there just seems to be action non-stop. In terms of the arena mode, that's also quite fun as well, where you can just do some 4v4 action, though I really hope they implement duos or 3v3 as well, as sometimes it's difficult to get a full squad, and it would be nice just to have other options where you can just play with your friends in a duo situation that's not a battle royale. In terms of performance, I'm getting steady high frames. I haven't had to adjust any of the settings, and I'm only running a 3070, so definitely not cutting edge or anything like that. And I haven't had any dips or any issues on that front, so stability is covered as well. Those are essentially my initial thoughts. I mean, it's a free to play, so you can try it out with no harm. It's a relatively low download as well, so if internet issues, you won't be worrying about them here. You can just pick it up and play. It's easy to get into. The learning and videos, tutorials that they offer at the beginning are also not too shabby. They help you at least quickly understand the concepts, but it's going to take you a few matches to get into the swing of things. And also remember that it's open mic as soon as you join a party, so you might want to turn that off in the settings right away. But the answer to the question is it worth your time? I think it is. I think you can have a lot of fun here, and we're definitely enjoying just of the initial hours that we've been playing. So you should pick this one up. Just give it a go. There's no harm in trying. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please make sure to subscribe or like. It definitely helps the channel. And I'll see you next time.